Hello my fellow crocheters, this is Yana with Yana's Crochet. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Please help this channel grow faster than my yarn stash. Hit that like and subscribe and keep the yarn ball rolling by sharing and commenting too. If you're feeling extra generous today, please hit the join button to become a member. Your support helps me keep creating new videos and inspiration for you. So now let's grab our hooks and get started. Today we're going to crochet this beautiful pattern that is a little more advanced that I usually show on my channel, but nonetheless it's very interesting. I think anybody can do it with a little bit of practice, and it is gorgeous. So let's get started. So you are going to start with chaining number that is multiple of 14 plus 2. So the pattern repeat is a little bit bigger. So like I said, that's why it has to be multiples of 14 and then plus 2. For your first row, you are going to start in the second chain from the hook with a single crochet, and then 3 more single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So all together your first row is going to start with 4 single crochets. Now you're going to skip 3 stitches, 3 chains, and into the 4th you are going to put a fan of 5 double crochets together in the same stitch, and that's going to make the beginning of our fan. Now you're going to skip 3 chains again, and into the 4th you put a single crochet and 6 more into the next 6 chains, so 7 crochets all together. And this is going to be your pattern repeat. You're going to skip 3 stitches, put a fan of 5 double crochets into the 4th stitch, then skip 3 again and put 7 single crochets into the next 7 stitches. Repeat that pattern as many times as needed, and at the end of the row you should end up with 4 single crochets. After your last fan you're going to skip 3 stitches again and finish up the row with 4 single crochets. And this is what you should have. Like I said again, the pattern repeat is skip 3 stitches, a fan of 5 double crochets, skip 3 stitches, and 7 single crochets. Okay, for your second row, chain 1 and turn, put a single crochet into the very first stitch, and then 2 more single crochets. So you will have 3 single crochets to start the row. And now you are going to work around your fan. So you're going to put a back post double crochet around your first double crochet of the fan, then a regular double crochet in between 2 double crochets of the fan, then again a back post double crochet,
and a double crochet in between the two, and all the way until you're done with your fan. And you should end up with 9 double crochets, alternating a back post double crochet and a regular double crochet. After that, you're going to skip a stitch and you're going to do 5 single crochets, and this is again your pattern repeat. So if you didn't remember that, you can rewind the video to look at it again, because you are going to do that exact same thing for this fan, just exactly what you did here, doing 9 double crochets and then skipping a stitch and do 5 single crochets right here, and then again the double crochets here, and at the end, after you do your work around the fan, you should finish the row with 3 single crochets, just the way you started the row. And this is what it should look like. For your next row, chain 1 and turn, and do 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, starting with the very first stitch the same, and then you're going to skip 1, and this time you're going to do a front post double crochet, and then a double crochet in between right here, and 1 more double crochet now in between these 2 double crochets, and next a front post double crochet again. So you're going around your fan in this pattern: front post double crochet and 2 regular double crochets, alternating all the way until you finished with your fan. And when you're done, you are going to have 13 double crochets, again alternating them between front post and 2 regular ones. And you skip a stitch and you are putting 3 single crochets basically in between your fans. So you repeat that pattern, you put 13 double crochets around your fan and then 3 single crochets in between. So again, you're doing exactly the same thing. If you need to, you can rewind the video to look at that again. And at the end of the row, you end with 2 single crochets just the same way you started. So for your row number 4, you chain 1, turn, you start with a single crochet, and then 13 what I would call front post single crochets. So you go into the stitch in a regular way, but then you kind of wrapping around the post of the single crochet. So you insert the hook in the last stitch, the same stitch that you finished, and going through into the next stitch. And you keep going until you do 13 of those. So like I said, you should have 13 single crochets, and then you're going to skip 1 stitch and put a regular single crochet right in the middle, and you're going to start again into the next stitch with your front post single crochets. And you're going to do 13 again, or until you go around all the way over your fan. So this pattern's very easy to make little mistakes, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it all evens out, and it doesn't matter that much if you sometimes you miss a little stitch here or add an extra stitch there. It's not gonna matter. So this is your pattern. So at the end, you put just a regular single crochet in between the fans and 13 on top. And at the end, you just end with 1 last single crochet in the very last stitch of the previous row, and this is what it looks like. And for the row 5, you're going to chain 3, turn around, and now we're going to stagger our fans. So we are going to start with a half of the fan, and it's going to go right there into that space in front of that first single crochet of the fan, and you're going to put 3 double crochets in there. Now you're going to skip 3 stitches, and like I said, if you make a little mistake here, it's honestly not gonna matter. But you want to put 7 single crochets on top of your fan. This is what it should look like. And now right here in the middle in that hole, so 2 rows down, you're going to start your next fan, a full fan. So 5 double crochets into that space. And again, skip 3 stitches and put 7 single crochets on top of the fan right in the center. And you keep doing the same thing all the way to the end of the row. This is where your fan is going to go, so 5 double crochets. And you're going to end row 5 with half the fan. So right behind the last double crochet of your last fan, you're going to put 3 double crochets in there. Like I said, this is half of your fan. Usually it's 5. Here you're putting 3 double crochets. And finish up with just a double crochet into the last stitch. Always at the turning chain, so right there at the end. And the end is going to be the same as the beginning, so right there. So for your next row, row 6, you're going to chain 3, and you're going to work the same way exactly what you did with the fans before. So you're going to go around and do a back post double crochet, and then a double crochet in between, and then again a back post double crochet, regular one, and a back post. And here you should have 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your turning chain counts as a double crochet here. Okay, so you're gonna skip a stitch and you're going to do 5 single crochets. So right now we're just repeating basically your previous rows. And you're doing the same thing as what you did for your second row of your fan work. So you're doing, this is your full fan, so what you're doing is you're doing a back post double crochet and a regular double crochet in between, and at the end you should have 9 double crochets around your fan. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. And there you go, and repeat this pattern all the way to the end. And finish up with a double crochet into the turning chain, and around your half fan at the end you should have 6 double crochets. So for the next row, chain 3 again, so put a double crochet right here in between second and third double crochet. So one in there, then one more in between the next two, and then a front post double crochet. Again, two regular double crochets in between the stitches and one front post. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. Now skip a stitch and do 3 single crochets. Yeah, so you're repeating the fan just like the other one. So you go in front post and 2 regular double crochets. I mean, if you need to, you can go back in the video to those other fans, because this is, I'm speeding up a little bit. But at the end of this work with the fan, you should end up with 13 double crochets. Like I said, now all these fans are exactly the same except the ones that are half that started these rows. And repeat the same thing all the way to the end of the row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just like we done in the beginning. And then skip a stitch and do 3 single crochets just like here, and all the way to the end of the row you're doing the same thing, and you're going to finish up with the double crochet into the turning chain. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for the next row, we're going to repeat the row of those front post single crochets. So if you need to, you can just go back to that row. But it's pretty simple. The only difference is that it starts out with the half fan. So you go over that, and like I said, this row does not have to be very precise. It would be easy to work around small mistakes, like if you miss a single crochet somewhere or do an extra one. It doesn't matter as much. So you just kind of go by feel, it doesn't have to be an exact number. Kind of just know that you have to put the single crochets around your fan and then a regular single crochet in between the fans. So, to give you just this look. At the end, you finish up with a single crochet in the turning chain. And now we're going to go all the way back and we are going to repeat the first row. So you're going to chain 1 and turn and start with 5 single crochets. And we're going to start a new fan, just like in the row 1. So now they're going on top of each other. So you go in 2 rows under into that space right there, and you put in your 5 double crochets. and then you just go back to row 1 and repeat the rest of the row and the rest of the rows until this point. And there you have it, this beautiful pattern. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know this is a little more complicated and advanced compared to my other videos, but keep practicing and I'm sure you'll get it and you will have a beautiful project.